Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? Just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today. And I think it's about that time now. The X is less than a month away, and just in general, even after the X comes out, I wanted to put together a list of things that I think that any person who's looking to get the X should be looking into getting to get ready for the X. Now, some of these things, or I'll be looking into things on the high end and also on the budget end, but either way, these are going to be things that are going to enhance your experience, as well as make sure that you can be ready for all those beautiful shiny 4K textures and pixels that's going to be hitting your TV screen, and make sure you have the space for everything and that you're good to go. So I thought I would put this together. You guys know how I do it. Try to keep things as layman terms as possible, so you're not scratching your head wondering what is this fool talking about. You know how I do. I'm just gonna bring you the real, and also make everything nice and simple. So here we go. This is gonna be first on my list. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this. So this is with, of course, I have to start with space. I'm gonna go ahead, and this would be my suggestion for to fix all your space concerns, man. So the cool thing about this, right now, it's on sale. So and this is a Seagate gaming drive for the Xbox One. Now, the cool thing about this one's made specifically for Xbox. So the great thing about this is that I'm not gonna have to worry about any compatibility issues. It's gonna sync up just fine. Now, you don't necessarily have to get this one, but for me personally, I think I always like to get the ones, especially if it's gonna be for my Xbox, to try to get it that it's made by Microsoft, and that I know I'm gonna get a good quality product. And this is it. It's on Amazon's Choice right now. You can solve all your space issues for just $129. I have a link in the description for this one. This one, if you go through that link and buy it through that link, you'll be helping out your boy. So you can go ahead and do that. I'm gonna put this in the link description. So if you actually turn out to buy it, appreciate it if you go ahead and help out your boy. Use that link in that description, and you can go ahead and get this here to support your boy. But other than that, I wanted to go over why I think this will be a great choice over, of course, you can still get the 2 terabyte, which is a good choice too. But I would say get this one, because now they have the 2 terabyte for, I believe it's $89. But the thing is about that is you can get a whole nother 2 terabytes for not too much more. I mean, you're talking about a neighborhood of $50 for a whole nother 2 terabytes. I mean, I think that's a ridiculous value to get, and it pretty much, if you really think about it, you're getting a console that has 1 terabyte, and now you're extending that with another whole 4 terabytes, giving you 5 terabytes. Now, I don't know about y'all. I think that should pretty much cover all of our gaming, even with the 4K pixels and all the 4K updates you're going to get with the X. You're going to know with having something like this, you're going to be future-proofed, and it's not something you're going to worry about. So yes, it's a little sizable upgrade, investment on the front end, but it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money on the back end. So I think this is a great value. You can get in. This used to be $150. Now it's down to $129. And I think it's just really great value. I think this would be one of the #1 things you need to be looking to get yourself ready for the X. This is pretty much the number one. That's why I wanted to go over this first. You know, this is going to allow you to have all the compatibility and the flexibility you're going to need. So that's number one for me. So moving on to the next one would be a charging play cable for your Xbox controller. Now, the reason why I think this is important is, you know, I was talking about this fanboy stuff. They were talking about it having batteries, and somehow that's a bad thing. And I don't know if you guys listened to that video where I said, you know, ideally it would be nice to have wired and batteries. Now, we already know the Xbox already allows you to do that. So any claims about, well, that's a stupid thing that it has batteries, is kind of retarded, because if you really think about it, you could do what the PlayStation does with the charge cable, and you could have a backup and have batteries, so you don't have to have this charge cable connected to your console when you're trying to play it at the same time. So the Xbox, unlike the PS4 controller, allows you to be able to pair it and do both at the same time. And this is a nice little upgrade that will allow you to do that, no problem, hands down. It's also a data cable as well. So the good thing about this is that you get two for the price of one. And also, you know, you have your charging solutions are all there for you, either way you want to run it. You know what I mean? So you're good to go on that. You don't have to have any downtime of, you know, trying to charge it or anything like that. You got it all set. That's why I think this is really good. If you really think about it, on the X, you're going to probably be doing a lot more gaming. You're going to need something like this. So that's why I would say, if you haven't gotten one of these already, you might want to look it up. All right. So we're going to move on to the next thing. Now, the next thing is, man, the console itself. Now, I know a lot of my guys already took care of it. They already got their stuff preordered, and you're good to go. You ain't tripping. But for those who haven't pre-ordered it, or they're looking into pre-ordering it, this would be, I would say, the best bang for your buck you can possibly do. And the reason why I would say that, man, is because this is slicing off a good $50 off the Elite controller, going ahead and picking up the X. And I think that is perfect, man, because, you know, you would definitely want the most powerful and best console ever to be created to go right along with the most best in controller ever created. You know, I mean, you're getting two big bangs for your bucks right here, especially with this controller being $50 off. Let me tell you something about this goddamn controller, man. This thing is stupid. When it first came out, people were like, oh, well, no, they ain't gonna never sell. Who would buy a $150 controller? When people started playing it, they was like, oh, now I see why it's $150. I mean, this thing is incredible. So anyone who hasn't had it, the standard Xbox controller is already the best console controller. You're even going to have astronauts using this controller, in the Air Force using this controller. It's ridiculous. Just how great Microsoft made this controller. But the Elite takes it to a whole nother level. It's on a whole nother stratosphere, and there's so many things you can do, so many customizations you can do to the layouts. I mean, it has face buttons that you can change, interchange, all types of stuff. This thing comes in its own case. You know what I mean? It's stupid, like what you can do with this thing. So I would say, definitely for having an Elite console, you want to get an Elite controller. So if you haven't picked one up, this would probably be and you haven't preserved or pre-ordered a Xbox One, and you don't have a Elite controller, you may want to pick this up. This may be, you know, one of the best buys you can do, especially with this controller being $50 off. So that's that. So now the next thing on my list is gonna be sound, man. No, I had to do it, man. You know I had to do it. So, you know, when it comes to headphones, man, headphones are a tricky one, because, you know, you got a couple of different routes. You can go the stylish and more comfortable route, and then you can go the more route leaning towards performance. The good thing about the Xbox Rig 800 LX is it's something that is gonna give you pretty much a balance of those things. all in one, as well as giving you Dolby Atmos already built in. And the cool thing about Xbox is that you can get a Dolby Atmos app that will allow for pretty much any headphone you get to be able to have the Dolby Atmos function, which is a real cool 3D function that allows basically in a 3D space for you to hear everything above and below you, as well as from your side and in front of you and behind you. So it's a really cool thing that you guys haven't checked out. Definitely want to get into. Even if you have regular headphones, you could just pull up the Dolby Atmos app on Xbox and be able to utilize that app to add that function. So when you get the X, you can be able to take advantage of it, even if your headphones, it doesn't have Dolby Atmos. But the cool thing about this headset basically does everything in once. So it has all of those functions for you, and as well as the comfort and the stylistic look. I'm gonna put a link in the description for this because Digital Foundry did a piece on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there for you to check out for Digital Foundry and see what they say about it, so you can really check it out. But this is the one I was probably gonna be looking to picking up because this is the one that, you know, I think, you know, this was one for me. And so I was going to be picking this up, so I'm just suggesting this one. Of course, you guys do your own research into these. I'm just giving you a list of what you may want to be looking out for to get ready for the X. So now moving on to the next one, man. Next on the list is, of course, got to be the TVs, man. Now this one is a TLC 5500 series, man. With, you know, smart TV 4K. Now this one is a really great buy, man. Now you got to remember a couple of things about TVs. One things to look out for is to ensure that you know, you're getting a TV that on its game mode in regards to 4K, it's gonna have you know, the lowest latency, you know, the lowest input lag is possible. I mean, that's what you're really looking for in any TV with game mode, is you want to make sure that it's going to have the lowest input lag, because obviously that's going to enrich your gaming experience. And the TCLs, man, they're some of the best with input lag. And, you know, along with Samsung and Sony as well. So I'm also going to link in the description basically a website you can go to that gives a list of all the best gaming TVs, some of the best gaming TVs that you can look into, both for being on the high end, the mid range, and the lowest end. So you guys can check that out for yourself. This is a good example. This one's on a bestseller. Basically, this is just for those guys on a budget that's just trying to really get just a 4K TV that's going to have good input lag, and that's basically you know, going to provide you with that 4K experience. Now the only problems with TVs like these is you got to remember one other thing is your high dynamic range. You have to really you got to really dig into it, because as you can see, it doesn't really tell you on here, and you have to really look it up about what type of HDR does it support, because as you guys know, the Xbox is only going to support HDR10, or also another phrase they use for it is HDR premium or premium. So it's only going to do the premium or the HDR10. It's not going to do Dolby Vision. So a lot of these TVs will be Dolby Vision, even though, you know, that one's a good one. The only problem with it is not as standard on these TVs. So this is a TV that basically is just gonna, on the HDR, I believe that they're gonna be supporting Dolby Vision later on, but not for now. So you want to, you know, that's why I spent a little bit more on my TV. I made sure it was HDR 10 and it was compatible, because I didn't want no trouble with that. So I spent just a little bit more, but I got mine's like almost a year now ago. So but yeah, so I paid a little bit more for mine, but this is important because, as you guys can see right here where it's yeah, it's gonna have the HDMI, but as you can see, it you know, these TVs have Dolby Vision. So you want to be looking out for that and make sure if you really want the HDR function and you're not willing to compromise for that, have to make sure it has HDR10. So that's that. And of course, like I said, I'm gonna link it down in the description. It has TV that has it for you to check out for yourself. TVs are kind of like one of those things where you really got to do your own research. Even I can suggest a TV to you, but it might be some things that you say that you have to have in your TV or how you want it, and I'm not going to be able to serve that, because it's kind of one of those things that's to each person's preference. So that's going to be on that. So now my next one, man, on the list is going to be a weird one, man, that you guys probably wasn't expecting. And this is the lightning neon strips that are pretty actually cool, man. Now, if you guys ain't in the know, I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. Now, what these basically do is, you guys know that psychologically, when it comes to people's emotions and feelings, colors has a lot to do with that, or how you feel. As you can look at these colors, man, you probably get a different set of emotions coursing through you just by looking at the picture and looking at the colors. Now, the thing about that is that also enriches your game experience, because obviously your emotions is a part of game experience, and when you set the backlighting to what the game is, it goes hand in hand with enriching your gaming experience. Another thing that this does that's really cool is it also benefits your image clarity. So this thing really works where literally it gives you a contrast in your background, allowing for the foreground to be that much clearer, and also cut down on the strain on your eyes. So for those guys that are going to be looking to be gaming really hard, you're going to want to definitely make sure that you want to cut down the strain on your eyes, because that's the important things. We're going to need our eyes, fellas. So, you know what I mean? You want to make sure if you put in those long sessions of gaming, it's going to cut down on the strain in your eyes. The cool thing with this one is this one also, it's for different setups. And it has a 16 color gambit that you can change it. So you can change it with a 16 color gambit. And you could do flash, you can do strobe, you can do fade and smooth. It's different. You can pulse it. It's different ways that you can do it. And set it up in any way that you want to, and it just hooks into your USB. So this is actually pretty cool for protecting your eyes, giving you a contrast, giving you a more enriched gaming experience. Shoot, you can use it for entertaining your guests, you know what I mean, family members. It's a really cool effect. So that's one I wanted to go ahead and throw in there for those guys that just want to have that more, protect their eyes and have a more enriched experience. So next one I'm gonna go on to. Actually, no, man. I just ran out of it. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much my list. That I think are some of the things that both going with space. I think is number one. Controller, charge and play, Xbox. That if you haven't gotten it, and of course sound. I would put a chair in here, man. Another thing I wanted to say was a gaming chair. The reason why I'm not messing with gaming chairs, man, I'm going to go through them real quick. And the reason why I'm not messing with gaming chairs, man, is because, it's one of those things where they're kind of hit and miss right now, man. They're kind of hit and miss. Now, of course, these are all PC. When you get into these type of gaming chairs, man, that you can get them for, pretty good prices. These things are kind of hit and miss. I would say gaming chair, but it's one of those things where a lot of times you'll get them, and you can get different quantities of them, and you can check them out. They just, in some cases, they work right, but they don't work as well. Now, this one has like built-in wireless, like sound and subwoofers built in. Now, the more expensive ones will have that one. This one has a forward subwoofer built in, and it has a wireless audio transmission and headphone jack, which is pretty cool. Of course, as you go up in price, they get more elaborate and they get more interesting. But I would say a lot of these, if you look at the reviews, they're kind of like hit and miss. People get them and I know when I've gotten one in the past, man, they just don't really work all that well for that long. Even if they work at first, they kind of like break. And that's one thing about them I don't really like. They're not really as reliable unless you probably spending some real money. I mean, you got to get into probably getting into the $300 and $400 range before you start getting a more reliable one that you know for sure is going to pretty much work. And I just wouldn't suggest that for, you know, any of gamers for the most part, because I mean, I don't know how much money y'all got to be spending on a damn chair, but I mean, if that's your thing, go ahead. But me personally, I ain't trying to spend as much on the chair as what I spent on my console. I'm good with that. You know what I mean? But I mean, if you got the money to burn, hey, go ahead. But that would be the other one on my list. If you got the money to burn, I wouldn't suggest these type of little chairs. I would suggest the higher end, more expensive ones to make sure you're going to get the, you know, the best value for longevity, and that it's going to work for longevity. Because a lot of these chairs, man, they pretty much would not be working. A speaker would be off or not working, and probably within a couple of months. Not even, some of these chairs be done in like a couple of weeks, man. They're really sad at this point. So, man, comfortable, and some of them are comfortable, but not really, you know, not so much when it comes to the sound. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much my video on this, you know, and, you know, my breakdown of my list. I want you guys to go ahead and hit me up in the comment box. Tell me what you guys' list is. Tell me what you guys think of the list, and what are you guys gonna be putting on your wish list for to get ready for the X. All right, man, I want you guys to go ahead, like, share, subscribe if you're not a part of the Keep It Real family, and make sure you hit that bell, man, so you can get those notifications. You know I'm always keeping that content flowing. All right, man, till the next time. This is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.